Hello guys, myself Akshay Swami, and I'm here to deliver my course. Well friends, in order to start my course, first of all I'll be telling you about the modules. The first module that I'll be presenting, it is about the introduction of homeopathy. So we all know that first of all we should know the beginning. Next I will be talking about the philosophy of homeopathy. My another topic will be the therapeutic approaches and treatment in homeopathy. So friends, let's start with introduction. First of all, I would like to tell you that homeopathy has a remarkable approach to health. Rather than relying on chemicals to control unwanted symptoms or force a particular response, homeopathy treats a person's health problems by triggering their body's natural ability to heal. In doing this, two things happen. Their body is stimulated to correct its own state of ill health, and it is strengthened to be more resistant to the problem in future. Far from being a new age medicine, Hippocratic writings show that homeopathy's principles were known at least 2000 years ago. It was not until the 1800s, however, that it was developed into a usable system of medicine by the German scientist and physician, Dr. Christian Friedrich Samuel Hahnemann. Since then, the popularity of homeopathy has steadily increased as people discover its ability to safely prevent or treat health problems. Homeopathy is gentle and effective. Its medicines, called remedies, are obtained mainly from minerals, plants, and animal sources. These are converted into submolecular preparations by a process called potentization, which increases the healing effect of the original substance and removes any toxicity. As a result, homeopathic remedies are energetic medicines free from chemical side effects. They do not poison, will not interact with other medications, and are non-addictive. They are safe for people of all ages, including babies, the elderly, and the pregnant. Homeopathic remedies can even be used with animals and plants. Homeopathy is effective for both acute and chronic problems. The correct remedy resolves deep-seated complaints such as arthritic, digestive, and respiratory disorders just as easily as minor ones like headaches, hay fever, and the discomfort of teething. Mental and emotional problems such as jealousy, lack of confidence, depression, panic attacks, and children's behavioral disorders also respond well to homeopathy. It truly is a remarkable system of healing. So friends, I could really tell that it's really special. So the next point is philosophy of homeopathy. How one practices homeopathy will be based on one's philosophy of homeopathy. You need to be a diligent, unprejudiced observer of all phenomena. You also need to be open to all phenomena, but most phenomena are hidden from us and we only get a glimpse of them. So we need to be humble. Dogmatism is an obstacle to practicing homeopathy. Unfortunately, homeopathy seems to attract a fringe who have their own pet theories. Philosophy is literally the love of wisdom. Now the question is, what is wisdom? Wisdom is the knowledge of what is true or right, knowing what is appropriate to each situation. The wise person discerns the right action in each situation. There is only one way. We need a philosophy of medicine, a way to study nature that will give a direction to our practice. Medicine is the art and science that aims at the maintenance, promotion, and recovery of health. There are three branches of medicine: prophylaxis, diagnosis, and therapeutics. Prophylaxis is the promotion of health and prevention of disease. It includes hygiene. Diagnosis is the understanding of the whole phenomenon of disease from beginning to end. Therapeutics is the treatment of disease with the aim of restoring health. So further, I would like to discuss the 5 basic principles of medicine which are really very much important. The first principle is prevention, that one should teach a lifestyle conducive to health. Second is primum non nocere, or do no harm. This principle comes from Hippocrates. The 4th largest cause of death today is prescription of drugs and medical error. The third point is tolle causum, which means remove the cause of disease instead of just treating the symptoms. The fourth is vis medicatrix naturae, or the healing power of nature. The forces of healing can be used to help the organism to heal itself. And the fifth is holism. The person must be seen as a whole. A person is not an aggregation of organs. The sick person is not a diseased organ, but a person with a history and interaction with their environment. So, friends, now we wish to know that what exactly a physician is. I would like to tell you that the word physician comes from physis, which means nature. So, physician is someone who understands the laws of nature. In the early 19th century, it looks like its current meaning of doctor. The word doctor comes from docere, which means to teach. The first generation of homeopaths like Hahnemann and Bonninghausen were natural scientists. To be a good homeopath, you must know nature and science. So friends, the first aphorism of the Organon of Medicine, 6th edition says, "The high and only mission of the physician is to restore the sick to health, to cure as it is termed." This means that for the physician, no other work is as important in front of him as saving the patient by giving relief to his sufferings. At the same time, the second aphorism deals with the highest ideal of cure, that is rapid, gentle and permanent restoration of health, or removal and annihilation of the disease in its whole extent, in the shortest, most reliable and most harmless way, on easily comprehensible principles. Now, aphorism 3 of the Organon says that in order for the physician to achieve these goals, the physician must know how to use and apply the forces of nature, that is, know medicines and their actions, and know how to use it to heal diseases gently and effectively. The physician needs to understand all aspects of human nature, from the gene to the psyche, and must be able to understand the phenomena of disease from beginning to end. The physician must understand the vital force. It is the force in a person that keeps them alive and passes to the next generation. It is the force that heals and which maintains the healthy body. Its nature is a mystery. The vital force is not a material substance, since the substance of the body does not change. The vital force is described in aphorism 9. Next, we'll be talking about what is health. Health is homeostasis, or a state of balance. The function of the organism is to maintain this balance, so you are not aware of yourself. When we stand, we are in constant motion to maintain our balance. When we lose the ability to re-establish this healthy balance, we are ill. When we are in a state of emotional upset, we should be able to re-establish an emotional balance. We should feel right or at peace. We should be able to use our mental faculty properly. Health is a state of global balance within oneself and with the environment. Heredity is the most important factor in health. Approximately 80% of the state of health is determined by genetics and 20% from the environment. This was established through studies of identical twins separated at birth. Lifestyle is the next most important factor. One's emotional needs must also be met. We have a need to be part of a group. Heredity, lifestyle, hygiene, and how we use our mind are the most important factors in health. So now we have to understand what a disease is. Disease is not a separate entity from the person. Hahnemann says in aphorism 13, people should not write articles with titles like the homeopathic treatment of this disease or that disease. The metabolic processes present in disease are the same as those present in health, except that they are unbalanced. The disease is not an entity, but the expression of an organism out of balance. Hahnemann uses the term untunement or out of tune for disease in aphorisms 11 and 12. As aphorisms 6 and 15 say, disease is associated with disagreeable sensations and abnormal functions. There are subjective symptoms, what the patient feels, objective symptoms, what others can see, and incidental symptoms, the circumstances causing the other symptoms. So the next part that we will talk about is the therapeutic approaches and treatment in homeopathy. As we have discussed, the high and only mission of a homeopathic physician is to restore the sick to health. This includes curative, preventive, and promotive care. On this endeavor, the homeopathic physician may encounter with different types of cases in their day-to-day practice, and in each type of case, his approach may be different depending on the clinical exigencies. Hahnemann had laid down the fundamental principles in order to achieve the desired result. At the same time, he also classified the clinical presentation into different classes, types, and subtypes with a clear message. Each class of the cases demands a different method of approach. Therefore, it is necessary for the physician to understand the case properly and use the knowledge explained by Hahnemann in the appropriate class as mentioned in the clinical classification of diseases. This, in turn, helps the physician to select the relevant method of case study which forms the main source of prescription. According to the teaching of Organon, in case of indisposition, one need not give any medicine. And in the case of surgical disorders, the scope of homeopathy is limited. In the case of an acute dynamic disease, understanding the causative factor is very important. Acute diseases are those that come on suddenly, with sudden progress and decline suddenly. They can often be traced back to a cause such as exposure to weather extremes, change of climate, cold wind, eating bad food, or lifting heavy objects. Examples of acute conditions are food poisoning, accidents, toothaches, sore throats, and influenza. Most of these acute conditions may resolve themselves if left untreated, or may require some acute medicines for quicker recovery. If they are inappropriately treated or managed incorrectly, they can become chronic. Chronic diseases are those complaints that have persisted for a long time, sometimes throughout one's whole life, and are caused by miasms, which are fundamental cause of chronic diseases. The symptoms are usually less severe than those of the acute conditions, but they can seriously affect quality of life and become progressively worse over time. Examples of chronic conditions are insomnia, allergies, recurrent infections, arthritis, thyroid disorders, post-traumatic stress, diabetes, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, back pain, digestive issues, and chronic fatigue, and so on. The list is innumerable. This group of diseases have a slow onset, slow progress, and slow decline. Chronic diseases do not resolve themselves, but can be treated with the help of well-chosen homeopathic remedies known as constitutional remedies. To select such a constitutional remedy, knowledge about the constitution is necessary. So friends, this was all about the philosophy and the therapeutic approach. The next important part that I'll be telling you is a brief biography of Samuel Hahnemann. Thanks a lot everyone for listening, and at last I would like to conclude that this module will be very much useful for understanding that what homeopathy is, what are its philosophy, how can we therapeutically approach, and how can we do the treatment in homeopathy. So I hope all of you enjoyed. Thanks a lot for listening.